Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17.
And Greyshot151 here.
And today we're doing a tier maker. Wait, Company for Heroes 2 artillery?
Yes.
Where's Gojira? Where's Gojira?
No,
where's my Muto?
No, we figured we'd do a monthly installment, or not monthly, weekly installment of this.
Did King of the Monsters still make S tier?
Well, at the box
In my
office,
book, yes.
At the box office, no. But, yeah, we're going to be doing a weekly review on tanks, artillery, factions, and more on Company of Heroes 2, and maybe other things. But in the meantime, let us start out with our top artillery, which probably is the most related to the channel.
Yep. And by the way, this is our opinion based on our professional skills in Company of Heroes 2, which can be confirmed by the hundreds of hours that we've played, maybe even thousands of hours
of content we've put up.
Yeah, exactly. So if you don't believe that we have any idea of what we're talking about, great. If you do, thanks for watching.
Yep.
Let's start with the Katusha, A tier.
Yeah, it's good against infantry, especially when you catch them off guard. It's great at knocking out structures over a period of time. Like 3 Katusha barrages usually takes out like a OKW building.
Yep.
It's good at finishing off a tank that's trying to retreat away. Sometimes you just need that one last barrage and you get it. So it has a lot of nice features, but
has a weak secondary ability. And while this is a awesome Soviet rocket artillery you get at the last base, the problem is even in the last base, it is still incredibly weak. This thing can easily be killed by a flanking infantry unit.
Yeah, OKW, like an
Puma,
Obozo squad just flanks this thing. It can murder without any upgrades. It's very weak. You get one AT shot at this thing, it's dead. Counter barrage, it's dead. You need to be able to micro this thing. Comically enough, even though it's not really going to be fighting all too much, but you just need to make sure the enemy can't hit it, because if they do, it's dead.
Yep. And next up, we have the Wehrmacht.
Yeah.
The Wehrmacht LEFH, which I will put at, let's put A tier.
Okay.
I think that's a good spot for it, because negatives, very easily, this thing is immobile.
Yes.
Negative, it is, since it is stationary and it does fire multiple shots.
Yes.
If a person's smart enough, they could dodge it.
Yeah, any type of bombing, IL-2 bombing strike, the British bombing strike, like, there's plenty that can destroy it real easily.
Here's the other count, but here's why it's so good. Has the counter barrage, which is good against any artillery piece, no matter what it is.
Even in mobile,
to a mortar, to a priest.
Yep.
It is going to be chased down by this artillery.
Yep.
And its barrage is actually pretty potent, even though it doesn't have a great accuracy rate. It fires enough shells that over time it'll eventually hit its target through RNG.
It can. I've seen plenty of games where people build like 5 of these suckers and just like continuously rain death on the enemy. It is insane, but. Yeah, the one downside is, again, it's immobile, but it can pack a wallop, and that's why it's at A tier. The counter barrage and the wallop.
The S tier one is the OKW variant. The reason is it gets a few more veterancy potentials that increase its lethality, which is why it just gets a little more over the Wehrmacht one.
Yep.
So that's why I put it up here.
Yep.
Next up, we have the Priest.
Oh, S tier, easily.
Okay.
Why? Mobile, armor, and a hell of a punch make this thing, in my mind, probably the best multi-shot arty in the game. It can deal with Yag Tigers. Like, you get, like, 3 priests and fire on a Yag Tiger. I mean, this is, like, in a 4v4, mind you. Like, you wouldn't want to do this in 1v1. But, like, when you're supporting your team with this, it can knock out buildings, especially when it ranks up. It can knock out tanks.
Infantry.
Infantry. It can hold down a point. It's amazing how much of how powerful this sucker is.
The range is the only thing I can think of a little more limiting with it.
Yeah.
But immobility, you can take a lot of hits. It takes at least 2 shots at minimum to kill a priest. That's on like special rounds, maybe 3 for certain types of units and 4.
I'm thinking like if you have a if this thing gets hit by an arty shot, like an LE8 shot, it'll live. If it gets hit by a Stuka, I think it'll mostly live.
No, Stuka will kill it.
I mean,
I've seen Stuka kill 2 of these at one time.
I mean,
in a base.
What I'm trying to just say is like a Stuka, walking Stuka.
Yeah.
It's
okay. Yeah.
It has a lot of upside, and it can't heal itself. Can't the men jump out and heal it?
No longer.
No longer.
They realized, hey, let's have the men jump out. Wait a second. Why are we seeing the American army go from 100 pop cap to 150 pop cap?
Okay.
I wonder what could be the issue here.
Yeah, cheesing the arty. Okay, makes sense.
Now the mattress. Okay. Here's the thing. This is a British deployable artillery piece special for commander.
Yes.
This is mainly focused against infantry.
Yes.
It can do a little damage reversing armor, but mainly focused against infantry. It does, I will say, have an awesome, I believe it's a white phosphorus attack.
Yes.
Yes. So, I mean, it has a bunch of specials. It can also...
But it can be
incredibly
decrewed. It's highly inaccurate. I've seen this sucker get stolen so many times and used against my team. It is insane.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that it is hard to vent next to like the Sturm Tiger of old. This sucker it takes forever to rank up.
Not new, like the new Sturm Tiger.
Yeah.
But so where would we place this?
Probably C or D.
Okay, I mean, here's the thing. Yeah. It is cheaper.
Yes.
It's 350 to 40 fuel.
Yeah, so, but when you're firing this on an enemy, you want them to have machine guns and
it's also a little bit late to deploy.
You're not really using this against, like, charging infantry because it's never going to hit, like, a blob. It's never going to be used for that purpose. This is more like you have a lot of machine guns and mortars that you're trying to murder in an area, and you just soak the area in fire. Like, it's not good against blobs. It's not good against armor.
It's soaking area and keeping them away.
Yeah.
Not really that. And you can kill blobs with it. It's just you have to be very, very lucky.
You would need the blob to walk into it but more than you aim for it.
Yeah. But it's good for, like, if you know where an enemy base is and you get this thing close enough, by God, if there's anything by that base, it's going to be...
if you get lucky, this sucker can shred. Next up, Panzer Warfare.
I would say this is a B tier.
Okay.
Because it is so exceptional at killing infantry and countering blobs at close to medium ranges. However, at long range, against fortifications and against armor, this thing is a no-go.
Yeah, and it takes a while for it to hit. Keep in mind that it goes into an arc.
Yeah.
So it fires... The Katusha is more like there's a low angle to it, which means you're going to hit buildings. But the Panzer Warfare goes up and down, like a high U.
Yeah.
So... you have more time to react. Keep in mind, though, if you get hit by this sucker, it will shred you, and it will suppress your units. But if it misses, you just feel kind of sad. You're like, oh, my opportunity is gone. Now the infantry will charge, and I am dead. It very much feels like you either need to hit or it fails. Whereas the Katusha, you have a long period of fire. So let's say you're guarding a point and the infantry's coming through, it'll hold that line a few extra seconds
for you to get something there.
Yeah.
All right, so next up, B tier is a good spot, plus it is easily killed, but though it has good mobility.
Yeah.
It's, I would say, a better mobility than the Katusha, but like I said, the Katusha is better all around.
Yes.
Next up, we have the Soviet artillery. Where would you put this?
Soviet artillery, it's good. It just doesn't have counter barrage.
Yep.
It can't move. It's static.
Yep.
So that means anything that's mobile is going to hit it. Like the walking Stuka, direct strikes. It doesn't have a counter barrage again. What's special?
Special is like a direct shot that keeps going over and over.
But you're never going to use that. You're just going to tell it to fire. You're never going to want to waste
maybe
munitions.
An OKW base, but like any longer fortification or something like a Pac 43 maybe. But...
yeah, it's pretty much going to be dead. Like it's an artillery piece, so I'd probably say its average is a C. But and it's good, but I wouldn't put it any higher because it's it doesn't have anything special that it does, and it doesn't move, so it's just your normal artillery piece. It's just your standard.
Wait, why am I thinking this thing now has a direct strike, actually? Maybe they equipped it. I think this thing might have actually a direct strike with armor.
That could be good.
But if it's anything like the B4, that thing sucks. So
yeah.
We'll get to the B4 later. Next up, we have the Sexton. And I think it's kind of like the more dopey cousin to the priest.
Yeah, it does everything the priest does, but it does it worse.
It got better, but still not great. It's good. It went from okay to good, not great.
You can make a note, and I think some people might say, oh, it's mobile, therefore it's best. Sure, but when you're in a competition between all the other artillery above, the priest wins out every single time, and there's a lot of situations where I don't want the Sexton. I don't, because it's that much weaker that I would take other options.
Like example, you could use, and we didn't put this here because it's not a unit, but we could counter the British base artillery.
Yeah.
That artillery piece is good if used correctly, especially with the more with the airburst shells. Equip that to stop and hold armor back. That can be good. The Sexton, I don't know. I don't see it at that same caliber to a base artillery that's worth 40 munitions. The best thing about it's mobility, it's armor, and it is still pretty decent.
It still packs a punch.
Yeah.
It just the priest is such a better version, and there's a lot of things in between that I'd rather take than it.
Now, speaking of something that I would not take, Calliope.
If this thing actually had a gun, it would be good.
Yeah,
if it actually had a main gun.
If it fired its main gun, all the things above it would fall off. So no. So I would probably say, it has armor, mobility. It has a decent attack, so maybe a C tier.
But is it ever gonna hit?
It will. Again, it is very potent. I did kill some things.
It's 110 fuel, right?
No, it's 140.
That's like 2 Katushas.
Actually, the more you think about it,
it's very expensive, and it's good on armor, but it doesn't have the range to hit like our actual
I think this
artillery.
is like 85, and this is 110.
Yeah,
120?
which again makes sense why, but you'd rather save up for the priest. Like for the Calliope, you're just like, why? If you're on a team game, ask for a Katusha because that sucker can actually fire long periods of time. Now, the Calliope is like a fusion of a Sherman and a land mattress, and it's the worst of the two. Like, it is, no one asked for it, and it is very much the worst for it.
Yeah. Now I remember the good old days where a good friend of mine, Ari, she was a good friend, she got about 8 Calliopes and just laid waste to multiple 8 Calliopes. And laid waste to multiple King Tigers, Panthers, stuff like that. There was a time where the Calliope would be higher.
But in this current meta, I would argue that
it's lower.
Yeah, it is definitely the lowest of the tier.
Speaking of a higher tier, the Stuka.
S tier. Easy.
Why would we put it S tier?
S tier is because this sucker's mobile.
Yep.
It packs a hell of a punch, and it can come out early. So when you're dealing with blobs, and let's say an American, you hit the American retreat point, and the American cries. The American cries a lot.
Yeah.
You hit the British, the displacements, and this sucker ranks up fast.
Yeah.
You can hit armor with this thing. You can hit Katushas. It's a glass cannon.
Yeah.
It packs a hell of a punch.
The fire barrage.
And it has a little bit of armor, just a little bit. So it's a little bit better than like the counterparts.
I've seen it survive a tank shot. But again, it depends.
Yeah.
But also another thing about the Stuka you should also mention. You're not joking. It's the earliest artillery piece you could get in terms of mobile heavy artillery. The mattress you would think would be sooner, but sometimes no, because it takes a while to get to, like, I think this is 5 to 8 command points. And then also, like, the other artillery pieces are the mobile ones for the Wehrmacht and the Soviet are 8.
Katusha,
the Panzer Warfare and Katusha, you have to wait to the very end.
You have to wait to at least I think it's like
tier 3.
Tier 8.
Tier 3.
Oh yeah, tier 3 for but I mean for like the commanders,
American
I think
stuff
it's tier
is 10
8
to
for
12
someone.
command points. Yeah, you can easily deploy this thing if you want to with a decent fuel income in like a few minutes.
Yeah, it's the fastest to the it's the fastest artillery you can get on the field. It packs a hell of a punch, and yes, you can destroy it relatively easy if you had like a Stuart or something that gets behind the lines, or a T-34 that snakes through and murders it.
Yeah,
but for what it can do, it's such a good artillery piece.
Does that make it the best artillery piece?
No, if we were to go with like something above S tier,
yes,
that would be
this thing. So again, if we just take note, we're just going to here by saying B4 is the best artillery, just because of the simple fact that it can meme your enemy into submission. Take note that I am a professional memer with the B4.
Completely unbiased, by the way.
Yep, completely unbiased with the reason why we would pick the B4 artillery piece as #1 artillery.
In actuality, I would put the B4 at the top because it's very much a surprise.
Yes, it's the perfect surprise, and that's why ever since years ago when I started using the B4, and I swear to God, Relic got rid of the direct strike because I literally had a string of games that I was playing in and other people submit to me being like, look at this awesome B4 direct strike, and it just get more and more popular.
Because it used to be, a lot of people never use this thing.
Yeah.
And then, I'm not saying that you give credence to it, but what I am saying is, it's very much an undervalued artillery piece.
Yeah.
Because you would think, oh, if it misses, you're doomed.
Yeah.
But it has it basically takes like 1 minute to reload, like 40 seconds or something. And the first shot you fire with this thing, usually the enemy doesn't realize you've built it by then.
Yeah,
if you can catch an enemy off guard by this, you can knock out a Panther, a Panzer IV. You can knock out something very important, and then they have to divert resources to murder it because they can't risk it. You also can murder blobs with this thing very easily. You can hold a point very easily. A Yag Tiger or an Elephant has to be wary because this sucker can wear down half its health. You 2 shots on an Elephant, it's dead. Like, the amount of damage this thing can do, if you believe in it, quote unquote, if it gets the hit, is astounding. And people undervalue the surprising nature of it. You can be caught off so much guard, and then you divert so much to it.
I think if you just Google B4 shots and Company of Heroes 2, the shots themselves killing blobs. It's the most fun artillery piece you can have, because when you get a good hit, by God, you're in a good mood.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, LAFH probably better, but like in my last game of Company of Heroes 2, I remember I was playing, and I literally got a back-to-back shot of 2 LEFHs with the B4. One, boom, dead. One, boom, dead. And it's so satisfying to watch them explode and eviscerate. Whereas the other ones are just like, next to the Stuka, I'd argue all the rest are kind of like, oh yeah, that was a good hit. Katusha is probably the third best of like being satisfying in regards to firing. The B4, when you land a hit, oh, it feels great.
Yes. But in any case, guys, that's going to be it. That's going to be game. Thank you for watching for this artillery countdown. Next time, tune into maybe a tank commander or like a tank force.
Best tanks in COH2?
Yep, we can do that. But in any case, guys, that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. This has been Greyshot17.
And Greyshot151.
Reminding you that B4 is best, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Hello, everyone. I want to give a special shout out to Patreon supporters Milam, Ace, Chris Bailey, Javi, Jfoe, Joey240, Josh, JP Vaal, jrchicklis, Little Koosh, Moustache, Onlyplayapples, PyroShark, Rifle, Sebastian Marszalek, Sergeant McPain, Streakingwookie, WhiteHodD, GTA, Jakub Ocwieja, Nathan Angus, and of course Tim. Thank you guys so much for your amazing support. This has been Greyshot17 and my amazing patrons, and I'll see you guys next time.